What if the best way to boost your toddler's IQ isn't by talking more, but by saying absolutely nothing? Most parents accidentally interrupt their child's mental processing with constant narration, describing every shape, color, and action in real time. By mastering the 10-second strategic silence, you force their brain to bridge narrative gaps and unlock advanced problem-solving skills starting today. Your toddler is capable of complex logic, but your voice might be standing in their way. We are moving beyond passive listening to trigger genuine cognitive breakthroughs using deliberate stillness. Learn how to transform simple story time into a high-level training ground for creative expression by simply stepping back and waiting. There is a common myth in modern parenting: the idea that 24/7 educational narration is the key to language development. While exposure to words is vital, constant input actually creates a passive absorption loop. When you over-explain, you are doing the mental scaffolding for them. If you say, "Look, the ball rolled under the couch because it's round," you've solved the logic puzzle for them. They didn't have to think, they just had to hear. Active neural firing happens when a child has to build that bridge themselves. When we stop talking, we create a vacuum. And the human brain, especially a toddler's developing brain, is biologically wired to fill that vacuum with logic. This brings us to our primary tool, the 10-second rule. In the world of early childhood development, 10 seconds of silence is a high-leverage power move. Why 10 seconds? Because a toddler's prefrontal cortex operates at a different speed than yours. They aren't just getting the answer, they are synthesizing the why and the how. During those 10 seconds of stillness, their brain is scanning for patterns, retrieving vocabulary, and testing causal relationships. If you jump in at second 4 because the silence feels awkward, you've just pulled the plug on a high-level cognitive construction site. You must give them the window of opportunity to synthesize complex ideas independently. There is a hidden window of opportunity that opens the moment you stop talking. When you pause after a prompt, you aren't just waiting. You are forcing a toddler to synthesize complex story arcs independently. This specific technique of deliberate quiet builds the foundational logic required for future brilliance. One of the best ways to practice this is during story time. I call this cognitive weightlifting. Instead of reading the book straight through, create narrative gaps. Pause at the peak of a story arc. For example, if the character is about to make a choice, stop. Use an incomplete sentence to trigger their drive to bridge the gap. Say something like, "The rabbit wanted the carrot, but the fence was too high, so he..." And then you wait. By shifting your role from a narrator to a facilitator of thought, you force them to make a logical prediction. This isn't just about the story, it's about training the brain to handle abstract concepts and future problem solving. Now, how do you know it's working? You have to look for the physical cues that a child is deep in a synthesis phase. They might look away, purse their lips, or go very still. This is the breakthrough moment. This is exactly when the urge to help or fill the silence will be strongest. Resist it. While it feels counterintuitive, this restraint is vital. You are giving their prefrontal cortex the necessary time to wire itself for independent problem solving. Whether it's a puzzle they can't quite fit or a word they can't quite find, that struggle is where the growth happens. Real-world examples of toddlers solving complex narrative problems occur through pure stillness. When they finally bridge that gap through pure stillness, the neural connection is significantly stronger than if you had simply given them the answer. These small daily silences translate into long-term advanced creative expression. As your child ages, you can scale the technique to handle increasingly abstract concepts, from social dynamics to scientific inquiry. By giving your child the gift of silence, you are giving them the space to become a thinker, not just a listener. I have a challenge for you to implement during your next reading session or playtime. Implement just one deliberate 10-second pause. Watch their eyes. Watch their brain work. You'll be amazed at what they can achieve when you simply step back and wait. Discover how this specific technique of deliberate quiet builds the foundational logic required for future brilliance. Stop over-explaining and start observing the cognitive transformation that happens in the quiet. If you're ready to stop over-explaining and start unlocking your child's hidden potential, make sure to subscribe to the channel and join our community of intentional parents. We are constantly exploring the high-leverage shifts that transform daily routines into cognitive training grounds. Share your experience with the 10-second rule in the comments below. I'd love to hear about the breakthroughs you witness when you finally embrace the power of the pause.